What's going on, Ursula?
Hey, Ian, I'm doing well tonight. How are you doing?
I can't complain at all. Cannot complain. You said you're on the East Coast or in Central?
Central.
Huh?
I'm in Texas.
Nice. I heard you guys had a pretty bad storm out there.
It's that time of year. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I know we didn't get hit so much. I'm in Fort Worth, but a lot of Dallas they've been out of electricity for about 2 or 3 days now, and
Oh wow.
don't look like it's gonna come on anytime soon. Streets are flooded. It's a mess. It got the storm built when it got that direction. So.
Jeez. That's crazy.
But then more is coming tonight, and then tomorrow, and then next week, and so
That time of year.
yes, and then
Yep.
we'll be praying for rain by January. I mean by July.
What's going on, Johnny? What's going on, Eddie?
Hey, what's
Hey,
going
Eddie.
on?
Not
Hey,
much,
Eddie.
not much.
What's going on, Ursula the Brain Company? Huh?
Oh yeah, well, no, no. we we're gonna denounce all of that.
Not the
I'll
denounce.
It's stuck
denounce
now.
it.
It's
Yes,
stuck.
I want it to be official.
Oh man, what's going on, Candace? Welcome to the call.
Hey, Candace.
Everybody.
Uh-oh. It looks like we have Leonidas on the call.
We got my dang on. I took my camera down. Right.
What's going on, Kevin? Welcome back.
Hey, what's up, Big Kev?
What's going on?
Oh,
Man, this guy's a trooper, man. In the face of a storm.
Fighting it, fighting it.
He's under attack and still makes the call.
Mm.
Nice.
Woke up, so bear with me too, guys.
I guess we can get started
Yeah.
shortly. Give a couple more minutes. Well, one more minute or so. Man, sorry to hear what happened with Kai.
yes.
That's super unfortunate.
Hold on, I'm out of the loop. What happened? Is he
Oh,
okay?
his brother passed away by the hands of a cop. So
Oh,
he's tending to his family, and finding out what's going on with that.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. He said it as though it was public knowledge, but I didn't know if anyone knew. I didn't know.
yeah.
You can hear Aurora where I live.
Didn't understand you, Johnny.
Say it again.
It happened over here in Aurora,
Oh
where I
wow.
live.
Right.
It was on the news.
Are you in Chicago, Johnny?
No, Colorado.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, I guess we could go ahead and get started. Welcome to the call, Brian. So yeah, the last call we had yesterday, it looks like we have new tasks assigned to each group. I guess this is a task that's going to help us strengthen and refine our knowledge on the requirements. Um, we have to, I guess, give real world explanations and things of that nature. So right now we have a couple of choices. The first thing on the agenda today is we're going to vote to see which requirement as a group we want to present and which day we want to present it. So I'm going to share my screen real quick to give you guys the options that we have, and then we could all collaborate and see which ones we'd want um, to pick. Give me 1 second. So Doug created this form right here. And this is the TDG engagement meeting sign up. So here we're going to put group 13, and then we are gonna decide which of these requirements, the top three, we'd wanna break down. Does anybody have any preferences so far?
Two sounds pretty good.
Say it again.
Johnny, you're coming through very, very softly for me. I don't know if it's that way for everybody else.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah, me too.
Lost the headset. Okay, now,
Can barely hear you.
turn off the headset.
I can't hear you at all.
Uh,
All right, can you guys hear me now?
No,
Oh,
good.
wow.
Yep,
yes,
that's
yes.
it.
Okay. It was the headset. It must have been dying. I was saying, I vote for two, requirement two.
Oh, so two is not an option.
That's not on there.
So so they said three is kind of large. So they said they broke it up in two, 1.1 to I'm sorry, 3.1 to 3.5. And then they broke it up to 3.6 to 4. Or we could do, well, yeah, 3.6, and I guess the entirety of number 4, requirement 4.
So the ones that are on this list right here, they're not due. They're just these ones up here.
So this is preference. So we're gonna choose the top 3.
Ah, gotcha.
So this would be
Um,
one choice we don't want to do. This would be like the second best choice. Johnny, I like how you're interactive with icons on the screen. I'm not sure how to do that. I'm not sure
Well,
how you do that, but
it's only on the side. It should have like a little pen on the side on your left side of your screen. There's like a little green pen. You just click on it and it gives you the options to change. Right now I have the arrow, but I could switch it up to like drawing if I wanted to, or shapes like that.
oh, that's beautiful.
Let me see if I could do that.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna try
yeah.
that right now. What
Yeah.
about
Oh, yeah, I can do it too.
Yeah, you can even type as well in here.
How do I take it off?
Yeah, I didn't know.
can you guys see this?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yo, Johnny, you just leveled up everybody's game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
13.
I don't know how you did.
Well, yeah, this helps to like help track or like figure out where we want to go with it. Like hey, I want to talk about this topic, and then you can click on that topic. You know.
I don't know how you did.
If for everyone else, it should be on the left side. There's like a little green pen somewhere.
Yeah, it says
Like on the left
annotate.
side.
What
Yep.
does it say?
Annotate,
Ah,
and then you can change the color as well. You can highlight, all that stuff.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hey,
what's going
Demetri.
on, Demetria? Welcome to the
Nothing
call.
much. Yeah, sorry I'm late. I just made it home fighting traffic.
Oh, no worries. Glad you were able to make it. Right now, we're just going over the tasks that we have assigned. On the last call, they shared that each group is gonna be responsible for going over a requirement. And so what I'm sharing is a form that Doug provided. And so when I do this, I can't scroll. Interesting. All right, so let me turn this off.
Okay, I'm playing with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have to hit the exit button of the annotate, and then you
Gotcha.
can move. Yeah.
Thank you. Wait, how do I get
Yeah.
rid of my? There we go.
You just hit delete.
Nice. So yeah, Demetria, Doug created this engagement form. So each group can pick their top 3 requirement and date they want to present to the entire group. Yeah, the entire TDG. So that's what we're doing right now. We're deciding, taking a vote on which ones we want to do.
Okay, do I have a choice?
Say it again.
I said, do I have a choice?
Do you have a choice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
we're taking a vote right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I was breaking down right when you jumped on to Johnny that they broke down requirement 3. So 1.3 to 1.5 is one presentation, and then 3.6 and requirement 4 is another presentation, and then each one is their own individual until they get to 7. 7, 8 are combined, then it's 9, 10, and 11.
Let's see.
So 3-1 through 3-5 or 3-6 through 4, 5, 6. It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah. Well, and are they gonna change the dates on those since those dates are? Dates is 29th already.
So yeah, this date is not valid anymore. What I'm assuming they're gonna do is just bump it up one. So
Okay, sounds
requirements
good.
3.1 to 3.5 will probably be done not tomorrow, but maybe the 4th.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
I guess does anybody have a requirement they want to focus on or get better on in? Because whichever requirement we choose, you're gonna get really good in that requirement. Or
What would you say then is was a good requirement that we can implement now when it comes to the work field? Because I mean, obviously, you want to master that one to like get a better, um, like communication with the recruiters and stuff like that, or the not recruiters, but the interview.
I think having good access control management is good. I don't know, Kevin, if you have any feedback on that, but I think that's like requirement 7 and 8.
I like
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, and 8. So either one of those is fine with me.
You said 5, 6, 7, and 8?
Yeah, I love those. So either one of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we choose number 1? 5, 6, 7, or 8? Which one do we do
I
next?
think 7 and 8 would be great because we can get more in there as well. But I definitely agree with Eddie there. 5, 7, and 8 is pretty dope.
Okay.
So we all working together on the requirement?
Yeah, we're pretty much gonna split up the work, the requirements, and each person's gonna have a specific requirements that they're gonna validate and get ready for the presentation. And then we could choose, you know, a few folks, few folks to go through the presentation and break it down.
Okay, so who's doing what?
Well, we're gonna get to that next.
Okay.
Yeah. So as far as 5 and 6, any preference order, 5 or 6?
6.
6.
Yeah.
All right.
6, yeah,
And then 5.
and 5, yeah.
Sounds good. So access control first, then develop secure systems and software, and then this is with malware, requirement 5. All right.
So once we know which one we get, is that when we'll divide up the work?
So yeah, well, I'm not sure when Doug is actually gonna share which ones, because I'm sure there's gonna be some overlap with other groups picking it. So whatever is left over, I guess, maybe it's first come, first serve. We'll know exactly which one we're gonna present, and then we'll divide those up amongst ourselves and then validate each one. And
Okay, so let me see. So right now we assign 3 one 3
we got 7 and 8 is the first one. I'll make a
We got
post
7.
inside the group, so we have an idea which ones we have tasks.
Okay, yeah, I was just trying to see which ones you had selected.
I'm gonna put it in the chat
Okay.
for easy reference real quick.
Thank you.
So would you guys say that it'd be beneficial to do like a loom situation when we can't meet up? Because I know that Audi is not always available other than Friday. I think Friday and Saturdays is her days off. So I wanted to make sure we can get her involved as much as we can due to her schedule at work and whatnot.
Mhm.
She doesn't get
I'm
off
okay
until like
with that.
8 p.m.
Okay.
I mean, of course, I would like to get a live interaction with you guys, but I would think it'd be beneficial to like also do Loom because it'll
What about
break
the
the
weekend?
ice. Yeah, it'll break the ice when it comes to actually presenting it, get yourself accustomed to presenting it to everybody. Um, and then we can kind of test each other on the live one, kind of like give ourselves that test. Because is it Joe the one that's gonna be asking the questions? Because I feel like Joe's gonna come at you.
Yo, I
Hey,
think it'd be Joe
it's
or
good,
Doug.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Because the
mean,
way, I
if
mean,
he
don't
asks
get
you
me
a
wrong, I
question
like
you don't
Joe.
know, if he asks you something you don't know, I mean, it's only gonna help you out.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
Well,
it
because
I'm
I don't
gonna
want it
improve.
to be like it's just us reading it, right? We want
Right.
to, I guess we want to be able to talk through it. And a good friend of mine on here, Kai, not Kiowa, but Kai, Cogman, he pretty much put it down in pretty much layman terms. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna pick his brain a little bit on some of these of how to best uh describe it and bring it down to more layman's terms because I like the way he puts it down. The way he explains it, he really breaks it down to like I mean, I'm talking about he'll make it sound like your house. He'll talk about your house, the door entrance, your backyard. I mean, you name it, this guy could do it. So I'm definitely gonna be picking his brain when it comes to that. But I just want to make sure that I'm able to like understand it to a point where I can break it down like that.
Is
Johnny,
that
I
the
mean,
is that the guy who was talking about the the club and the bouncer and the waiting
yeah,
room?
that was Johnny.
yeah.
That was you, Johnny. You said that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, because like I said, he said to bring it the way that Kai says it to look at it, like bring it to your level, like bring it to because I used to be a bouncer. So when they were saying it, I was like, that kind of sounds like the lobby before you get in, like, to prepare yourself to, either pay for it to warm up, to go to the restroom in one section. So, I was like, yo, that's sounds just like the lobby we're really talking about here. So yeah. So I kind of bring it down to like your level to your experience. And after helping other people with their first deliverable to get into GDG, um, I try to help people understand whatever job they're currently doing, whether it be a nurse or whatever, you got to look at it, bring everything that we're talking about requirement wise into your world, not the other way around. Don't try to fit yourself into the 12 requirements. Bring it back to you, because we were talking about things like a scoping is just like when you're paying attention to your customers or your clients who need help to get their health checked, then you have to check on their thermometer. You got to check on their temperature every time to make sure they're good. So when we're doing the scanning and everything, that's what we're talking about. You're checking the temperature. And in order for you to ask for that specific group, you got to reach out to a doctor. That's you reaching out to specialists, right? So I said, bringing it to your level, your terms, so it makes it easier for us to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put something in the chat there. Um, you guys were talking about Joe and what he was doing on the call yesterday. This is from Group 5. He was responding to Naire, who presented with Ian. Take a second and read what he said.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
no,
That's
That's
dope.
positive, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's,
And that
it's
makes
okay to make
sense, because
mistakes,
if
yeah.
you don't, that makes sense, because if you don't have a technical background, you would, they say you don't, and you gotta look at it from a different, perspective. I do have a technical background, so I do look at it that way, because sometimes I try not to look at it from a technical, perspective, just to look at it from a different angle. So I'm looking at both when I review certain information.
Absolutely.
Agree.
I view this as a safe space.
Mhm.
So make mistakes.
Learning space, yeah.
This is the best place to make mistakes because you want to make it here and not after you get the job. Because
Absolutely.
they're not
Yeah,
going to
that
correct you
kind
on
of
the job. You're just going to get a termination.
Now they're just senior class, additional training, that's all.
that kind of reminds me of the asking those silly questions, right? Or what sometimes how we feel like it's a stupid question, but it's
So
by you
true.
talking, you jumping out there and putting yourself out there, you're actually helping other people had that same question. They just didn't feel like to say it out loud, you know? So I kind of feel like you kind of gotta break yourself away from that and kind of like just ask the question, as silly as it may sound, because you never know. That might be the question that everybody's thinking about the whole time.
90%
Or
of
it's a question nobody even thought to think about.
Right.
So,
Even and better yet, yeah.
There's no such thing as a dumb question.
so
Yeah, but we all have that thought.
yeah.
I know I do. I always think like this is gonna sound like a dumb question, but at the end of the day, you're right. It's not. There's no such thing. But just thinking that that's what stops you from asking it in the first place.
absolutely.
Yeah, in any position, I'm sure people would rather you ask the question than to do something that could cause more harm to the organization or to a client. So it's best to say, I don't know, than to pretend that you do know.
Oh,
Let me
that's the
find that answer for you.
And I know my director, he's like a drill sergeant. And if you don't know the answer, it's best if you say, I don't know, or give me to the end of the day to get that response from you. Because he would you to be authentic than to sit here and pretend like you know when you don't. And it's okay to ask questions. That's the best policy, to ask questions if you don't know.
Absolutely.
question in, is this, so it's
I have a question.
No.
Go ahead.
go ahead, Candace.
Okay.
Questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So I actually just started working for a company a couple months ago. I come from the insurance world, and this is the first time I've been with a company that takes credit card information over the phone. And when we input it into we're inputting it into the carrier site, right, where we put the credit card information. But of course, our calls are recorded. And so we're not storing any information, but we are taking it over the phone and then we're putting it into the system. But the phone calls are still being stored because they're recorded. So and they don't have a PCI team or anything like that. And they have a compliance team that they just kind of started. I want to bring it to their attention to see like what they're doing with it, but I don't know how to, I guess, formulate that question.
Yeah, it seems like that recording call would be in scope. And wherever it's being recorded and it's being transmitted and held and stored, needs to meet compliance. Matter of fact, it shouldn't even be getting stored. I think that's requirement 3.1.1 or something like that. That's the only requirement, that there's no compensating controls. So
You should
yeah,
step up and ask questions and share your knowledge and experience. That's your opportunity for growth in the organization.
Yeah, thought about it, but I'm just like, I don't know if how to act.
I would,
Because every company I've been with, they're like, we can't take credit card information over the phone. Let's just do routing and account number. So this is the first time I'm like, and they're kind of new. They've been around for maybe about 2 years. I'm like, I don't know if they know
Yeah, no.
that they shouldn't be taking this over the phone.
We may not, are you guys taking CVV?
No, we're not taking the CVV.
Just taking the card
Yeah,
number?
it's just the card number, the date
Okay.
of the expiration date.
Well, that's
Yeah.
a
That's
little
different.
different.
3.3.1 says SAD is not retained after authorization. So, but it says in 3.2.1, account data storage is kept to a minimum through implementation of data retention and
Exactly.
disclosure policy. So as long as they have that in place and they have like 6 bullet points below as well in that requirement, as long as those things are being met, then
Okay.
I got something
Mhm.
to help you out, Candice. I did that to my company. I actually asked questions, and maybe because I was in the program and I'm like, don't care if I lose this job. I just asked. I was asking boldly. I mean, I was actually presenting it to everybody that I asked. I said, "Hey, what is our policy procedures when it comes to like what we're supposed to do? Like, I need a breakdown because it seems like management and supervisors all had a different plan. Everybody had a different thing. I'm like, are we not having a universal policy? Is there's like not?" So I asked everybody, and it got to a point where everybody kept saying, "I don't know," and I'm like,
Mm.
Go to the director.
there's a problem here. So I created an
Hmm.
email, and I created an email regarding some of the, and this is like sophomore into this program. Okay, I'm sophomore into this program. And I'm like, yo, I'm learning all this stuff that's coming out. Like, we need to learn all this stuff. We need to have this information. Like, it should be readily available. If I ask any supervisor, any manager, anyone in leadership position should know this, or at least direct me. And it got to a point where it got to presented to the district manager, and I ended up meeting the district manager, the site director. I met all kinds of people, and I'm like, I'm gaining all these connections, and it got to a point where like I actually was like, I need to talk to your PCI representative. I need to talk to the guys, the ladies and men that are doing the auditing. Like, I need to talk to these people. And they're like, oh, during the daytime. And I'm like, if I gotta stay up all night, all in the morning, because I work nights. So if I gotta stay up to come talk to these people, that's what I gotta do. So I came up with an email with actual bullet points, and I use ChatGPT, so I'll admit that to help me out with bringing up some questions. So I would suggest using ChatGPT about the certain questions. Requirement that 3, if I were you, use requirement 3 to give you certain bullet points to ask certain questions regarding that information. So that way you're not just telling them or talking to them specifically about it, but you're talking to the stockholder, right? You got to look at it from the stockholder, because the only motivator when it comes to these companies to make these decisions is the stockholder. So their money.
I'm gonna call your new name is JBG, Johnny Boy Gomez.
So
go, so-
because they're not storing the SAT data though, they wouldn't need it wouldn't they're only getting the card number, their address, and the expiration date. So it's like that wouldn't be, is that still out of scope? I mean, or in scope?
Think about it this way, right? As the vendors, right? We're still supposed to check on the work. So your best bet is to double check it to make sure, hey, like, this is what I'm doing, and you're gonna stand out for one. 2, you're making sure because you're questioning it. You are questioning it. So imagine they're not sure what's going on. They might not know. They might find out something that you bringing up that they need to be brought to their attention, so that way they can get on that. And who do they find, or who would they look for to know this information? You.
Yeah, it may be a job in the future for you, but even with the
Exactly.
PAN, they still have to store the specific thing. It either has to be masked, truncated, or encrypted, because you can only show the first 6 and the last 4. Can't show. So they got, I mean, I don't know if that's what they're doing, but you can ask that question.
Boyd even said too, that you can literally create a whole job off of one requirement. And there's yours right there as your requirement that you master. And that's all you need to focus on. And you got a whole position right there that they create for you. Because they may not have it, or if they did, they're not like letting people understand that, because you're having to question it to a point where maybe you're not sure if that's available, right? If that's something that they're actually doing.
Yeah.
So Candice, my advice to you is to go in with a plan. You said you've just been at the company for like a month.
I've been there for about 2 months.
Okay. So my advice is to go in with a plan to understand, because anybody could point out a problem. You have to be able to come with a solution, right? So my advice would be to do a little bit more research and understand exactly what is taking place in the environment. When you collect the credit card information and you're putting it into, you're on a computer and you're typing it in, where are you typing it into?
The
Who is-
third party service, so it's like going to a third party.
Okay, and is it being processed at that point? Like, is it charging the card or is it being stored?
Mm, that's a good
Right.
question.
So you have to understand the entire flow. Think about the data flow diagram, data flow
Mhm.
narrative. You have to understand the flow of the cardholder data coming from the outside into the environment and what is happening with it. Because when you go to whoever it is and you go and you present the problem, you have to already know the whole data flow. And then you have to be able to point out where the gaps are. And then you have to be able to present a solution. Like, you don't want to be guessing.
Yeah,
So
you would have an auditor.
I didn't hear what you said, Dimitra.
Do they have an auditor? Are you aware of the auditor? Someone that's actually, auditing them, or who their technology person is, that's making sure that we stay compliant.
Well, they don't have like a right now they just have compliance and insurance regulations and rules. So making sure that we're following that. But when it comes to like credit card data, no. From what she had told me when I had mentioned, what I was studying. And she was like, no, we don't have anything like that. But I guess because I researched the technology that's recording the calls, and they said that the technology does encrypt certain data. So I don't know if they have it set for whenever it's coming through the airways. Because for us, we're just entering it into the third party, and then we're done with it. We don't put their actual networks or anything like that. It's going to a larger company who then processes and stores and do all of that. But we are just collecting it over the phone. So
Okay. Yeah. So you would need to research the core recording company and see if they are PCI DSS compliant. Because from my recollection, there were core recording software. I can't remember the name of it when we did different regions where
Genesis.
Genesis, that's what I
Genesis,
was,
yeah.
that's when it first caught my attention. I'm like, oh, this sounds like what we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was recording it in a PCI DSS compliant way. Right. So you need to research the recording company and see if it's PCI DSS compliant, because you might do research and realize, hey, they are compliant. Right. So you don't want to go and speak and then you don't know what you're saying, right? So that's my approach. I always want to forecast what the questions would be and have a plan when I'm asked those questions. I don't want to just go in and wing it. Right. So that would be my advice to you. Understand the flow of the cardholder data coming into the environment. And then bring up, when you have that information, you come to one of our calls and you can even bring it up. And Joe could even give you possible solution. Hey, I have this going on in my company, but you come in with all the information. You know what I mean? So you could give him everything and then he could give you a good, oh, okay, so in that case, you can utilize this or you can utilize that. Now you can go present it to someone in the company with a full plan. That's how you get your best shot at, creating a job there for you, in my opinion.
That's
Good in-
helpful. Thank you. Well, okay, one more question. So researching the company, like, and figuring out if they're in scope with PCI, wouldn't I have to like have access to them or like call them or anything like that? Or
No,
is it just like,
no.
okay.
No,
But
when we
you
find
know,
out about Genesis, it's readily available online, right? You go and you do your research on the company. What does Genesis offer? Do they have PCI DSS compliant offerings? What exactly? And you would see different things. All those things are going to be readily available. And if it's a core recording company that is PCI DSS compliant, they're going to advertise that because that's going to be a selling point for them.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
on their website. I didn't see anything. I was like, well, should they say their PCI DSS on their website? But they don't say it on the
You got to go do a little digging. You could ask Ian how to
website.
do some
Yeah,
reconnaissance.
yeah, if you
He
go
could dig
into
like
the-
nobody's business.
yeah, if you go-
Okay, cool. I have the
Thank
website. I
you.
can give it to you and we can do it together. I want to look
Ian,
at it.
you know what Ian do? Ian calls them up. He's like, "Hey, are you guys?"
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Do I call them?
He calls them. He messages the live chat. He does all type of out of the box stuff. So yeah. So Ian can give you some pointers.
No
Candace,
stone
since
unturned.
Candace, since you work there, you can actually go onto the internet site, the main site, and you can look up and you'll find all their policies and procedures. It's written right there. You'll
Oh
find
no, I don't work
everything.
for the recording company. It's just something
Yeah.
that we just log into.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about your company, they should have everything identified and listed and what their company does, and he listed outsourced too as well.
Well,
Okay.
Candace, if you know the company's name, just go to Visa and look them up. It'll tell you if they're compliant or not.
Okay.
So real quick, we only have about 2 minutes left. I wanted to share something else with you guys. And I'm gonna make this a post inside Basecamp, so you have access for it, access to it all the time. But this is pretty much the steps we need to follow when we're validating each requirement. So this is something that I'm gonna drop this in the chat so you guys can download it, have it for yourself, and then make sure we follow those rules. Let me go ahead and drop it right now. So, wait, is that the right one? No, that's the wrong one.
Maybe you should put it in Campfire because this is going to disappear.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Okay. I'll drop it in Campfire right after this call. And then the last thing I want to talk about is I think we would only need about probably no more than 3 presenters. For max. Do we have any volunteers? Johnny. All right. Eddie, Candace. All right. That's 3. One more.
I think I saw already.
I saw
she put-
ours.
I think I saw already.
Oh,
Put her hand
that-
up. It was real quick.
I
It
thought I
was real
saw it.
quick. She just did like this.
Yeah.
You're seeing things.
All right. Looks like we've got all 4.
It's up, but you just
When is the meeting day and time for this presentation?
So just to recap real quick, let me see if I could show a response. Now we got a minute left. So this is what Doug shared for each group to select the top 3 requirements it wants to present. So we selected 7 and 8 as our number 1 requirement to present on June 11th. And our second one is 6 on June 6th. And the last one is requirement 5. These dates might get pushed down a little bit. It might not be as soon as you see here because the first 2 dates are already passed. But basically requirements 5, 6, 7, and 8. Probably going to find out which one is going to be the one we're going to present. We're all going to work on a requirement, validate it with what I'm going to drop in Basecamp. You guys will see the requests. And then yeah, you'll be presenting with Eddie, Candace, and Johnny.
Hey, who's gonna be presenting?
you
No, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. No, I love
Yeah,
presenting. It's just these calls